he will have the armor, just no head armor. So that is could be a factor. It's worth pointing out. There are 2 M4s on the map, so yeah, watch out for that if it comes up.
I think the reason why is because he knows that they have multiple AKs, so it's less of a risk. But as you say, like Tenzi and Masval both have an A4, so we'll see. I mean, that could be a huge difference, you know? Like, obviously, for those of you that maybe aren't as knowledgeable about Counter-Strike, the head armor would allow you 2 bullets from an M4A4, but without the head armor, you are an insta-kill to the head, whereas the AK is an insta-kill to the head regardless. So these are like little bits and pieces the players have to think about as they go into the game. Looks like an A executes on the horizon, though.
See if they can defend this one Magic. They're so close to taking up this early map. And remember, this is elimination. So we're laughing our way through some of this game, but it's real serious for the players. Never forget that. So much of their careers could be on this. It's a tier 1 tournament that they're getting a chance to play in. And look at the defense. Look at the smoke again. Tenzi and Spade start off with a couple of kills. Both of them dying pretty much on top of each other. And that's kind of dreadful. What's the point of throwing the smokes if you can't get on there and get the bomb planted? Magic had even fallen back. You actually had a free runway to at least get a bomb plant, which I think is only half the job. A bit more sloppy. Maybe the energy has kind of left the room a little bit for them.
Yeah, they do just feel flat at this point. And it's 12 rounds to Magic. It's only 1 round on this T side to K27, and it was the pistol round. And since then, out of 6 rounds on the CT side, they've only been required to defuse once. The last 5 rounds haven't even yielded a bomb plant. That's how dominant on one side of this has been. They're going to run it back onto the A side, but Masval does get flashed and does get checked. So Zido, he's opened up business onto the side. They still need to deal with Tenzi, though. Good Molotov's going to force him out into the open. The best chance they've had so far.
Yeah, just don't give this one up, surely. AW, that's a mad jump! He's running straight to the smoke and somehow finds a double kill. Oh, he's a man possessed right now. That should never work. They're not going to win the round, I think, still. Moon and Spade, they're just, you know, they're a little bit too far away. They will give it a shot based off that AW double kill. If they win it, it's going to be because of that. But what an outrageous move. Let's see if anyone's going to make a mistake and peek here. Moon trying to get the first spray. Does realize what the second player is, but he can't find the follow-up. Quinky will take him down, and now it's Fade trying to pick up potentially another rifle if he can. I think the AWP is a rough weapon to retake with here. And he's running out of time regardless. There is a kit in front of him, but I just don't think you can do it any longer. Still trying to make it expensive. Cedo takes him down. Nice triple for him in this one. And K27, they're now fighting for overtime, but I swear AW almost wrecked them there. Just a quick check-in with the chat as well, Vince. We did have someone asking, how do you pronounce? There was Francisco's asking, how do you pronounce the X5 G7 whatever name is? The fact is you don't, but it's people are pointing out. We just call him X5. We don't know what's the real answer. We haven't checked. We've tried to check, but we never found out.
Yeah, I think everyone just agrees that to have a mutual handshake on just X5, just for simplicity reasons. Oh, nice shot from Zido, though. Can K27 have that second win, that surge that we see so often in the Tier 2 bracket? He's about to get wide swung on with the A4, and Tenzi finally finishes off the kill onto Zido. Meanwhile, though, there's a bit of a backstab in the smoke, and X5 catches Spade completely unaware.
The madness has returned to this game. It's been such a wild game in general with mistakes on all sides, which sometimes can just make it very entertaining. Bomb has been planted. This time people are not getting shot through the smoke that's been blown open there. Masval was hoping he was going to be the one that was going to be able to capitalize on that smoke being blown open, but instead it goes the other way. So they'll have to back on out. Nothing they could do this time, unfortunately. So up to 9. And I said they had a lot of money, and that's still true on the Magic side. Like, look at the fact that they've lost. It's going to be a second round here, and still everyone is 6,000 or above in terms of the cash. So they can still buy quite a bit here, Magic, but eventually they will run out if this keeps going.
Yep, exactly. Hence the save. They'll be able to get away with it by the looks of things as well. I don't think that K27 in a position to deny Moon or Tenzi of their weaponry. But yes, you are absolutely on point. They can't keep this going for too much longer. Meanwhile, though, K27, they're making a real case for themselves to get back into an OT kind of scoreline. And this would mirror the match that Magic had with the Mongols. They had a pretty significant lead. They threw away a couple of match points. They went into OT. They ended up losing in like quadruple overtime. So at some point, they're going to be thinking, oh God, not again.
This is actually sometimes I think this kind of Counter-Strike can be really funny. Like, there's no question there's tons of stuff to criticize. If we had an analyst desk ready on the B stream, then there'd be lots of things to go through, lots of rounds. We talked about a ton of them already, but in terms of just watching it as an entertainment thing, there's nothing lacking here. I think this is the kind of stuff that you can never know what's going to happen, and that is kind of interesting. X5 jiggling again at the corner. He's done this a couple of times, and I think he's been punished a couple of times for it. But this time he's quick to fall back. They are so aggressive in the middle here, Magic, which they could do for a while, but eventually they'll have to leave this 4-man setup at mid and kind of go back to defending the bomb sites a bit. Moon, he's playing on the lip of this truck. You can just sort of stand on the rear end bumper, I think it is, and it can be a very, very hard position to clear out, actually, coming in from the T side.
I think the issue is that K27 were aggressive, but they were kind of statically aggressive at the end. They were holding positions that were pretty obvious. Flick not quite there for Moon. They're going to close the gap now, knowing that he could be vulnerable, susceptible to a straight-up push. X5, not for the first time, is going to find the perfect timing, but it's going to be Moon in the Molotov, and then he lands the no-scope onto Cashlit. That's an outrageous shot, and it could be enough to seal Magic the map.
Oh, I think it just might be. I think you're onto something here. What a way to do it as well. No scoped, and there's no time here. 20 seconds. Fame, he's stomping all over the place. He might as well. Okay, he's found AW, but that's only a third of the problem. 10 seconds, shot in the back by Tenzi and Magic. They finally put an end to the madness here. They pick up the map in what has to be one of the most confusing maps we've seen in a while here in Astana, but well done for them. It is elimination on the line, so you better believe they're going to be excited about this one, and hopefully we can clear out some of the mistakes. This map as well was picked by Magic, so we're going into the second map of Overpass, which is where K27 will try and do some of the work. So yeah, I mean, again, this is maybe not the most high-profile game, but I think we were entertained for sure. Shout out to you guys as well in the chat, keeping us company the whole way. Cara Podre was asking if there were any furries in the chat. Not exactly game-related, but we like to keep a bit of chat interaction going. I think those were all in Atlanta, if I'm not wrong. I saw pictures on the internet with the other tournament that happened. So, anyway, Vince, any thoughts about the game?
I thought you were going to ask me any thoughts about furries, and I was like, yeah, I prefer not to answer that question, Anders. Well, thoughts about the game? Yeah, I think I actually nailed it at the end. It was so unpredictable. It was super entertaining. Not always for the best possible reasons. I'm just glad we saw Moon have a big performance here, because I felt like Dust 2 was such a bit of a disaster for him personally, and I'm sure he was feeling gutted and devastated after that. He got 5 kills as opposed to Afro, who dropped like 20 plus and had tons of impact. When you're landing shots like this, I mean, you can't fault the guy. He was instrumental in getting Magic this map. So I'm really happy for him on an individual level. You can see he's also up there on the ADR charts, which isn't always the case for AWPers. It can often be a case you get like 20 kills, but your ADR is actually quite low. It's just kind of the way it goes.
True.
And then AW, you highlighted him, player that's been struggling, but he's had a really good map here. So I think if you are on the Magic team right now, you're feeling really good about your chances going through into Overpass.
To be honest, as well, on the T side, like AW was getting so many of those entry kills. Huge props to him for doing as well as he did there. That's very, very hard to do. Top fragging on the T side while playing the entry on so many of those rounds. You've got to appreciate that. Definitely the standout player for this one. And Overpass, very different affair. Hopefully we could see more of Moon opening the same, because it was really fun. No scopes and all, but on the other side of it too, right? You've got